President Trump was in Utah Monday, where he signed proclamations that will drastically shrink some of the state's largest national monuments, a move he says reverses federal overreach. Jamie Yukas is there.
The view is breathtaking. A land of cultural richness, beauty, and solitude. For Mary Benelli, Bears Ears is home.
This place is so sacred to the Native Americans. People need to be here to see it and feel the healing.
Benelli is a descendant of the Navajo and Hopi, which were among the tribes that convinced President Obama to set aside more than 1 million acres to create Bears Ears National Monument.
I look around and say, wow, little old us, we did this. Somebody actually listened to us in Washington and
now
did what we asked. And now this.
This is the move by the Trump administration to drastically shrink the amount of land protected at Bears Ears from 1.35 million acres to just over 200,000. And the equally stunning Grand Staircase-Escalante National Monument in southern Utah by half. But there are those who prize what lies underneath the land, oil, gas, uranium, which is why the quiet land is now surrounded by so much noise.
So do you, President Trump and Secretary Zinke, are
two of the greatest people that I've ever been able to associate myself with.
Bruce Adams, who chairs the San Juan County Commission, says the federal government, which owns 2/3 of the land in Utah, has overreached and residents should have more control.
What about the Native Americans who say this is their land and it's sacred ground?
I applaud the fact that they want that protection. I just simply think that that protection exists.
I cherish the land.
But for Navajo elder Willie Gray Eyes, stripping away protection would leave a deep scar.
Not only within myself, but my nation and probably all the Native Americans.
This is Grand Staircase-Escalante. Former President Clinton declared this a monument more than 2 decades ago. Just like Bears Ears, it took years to get that status. Now, the Native American tribes, as well as environmental groups, say it could be years of a legal fight before this is resolved. Elaine?
Jamie, thank you. Jamie Williams is the president of the Wilderness Society. Jamie, the president says that he is reversing federal overreach. What does this move mean for these monuments and other federally protected lands?
Well, what the president just did today was to declare open season on the places Americans love by opening them up to drilling, mining, and logging for short-term gain. What he did today is the largest rollback of land protection in American history, and it ignores the millions of Americans who have spoke out for the protection of these really special places. These actions virtually eliminate Grand Staircase and Escalante National Monument and Bears Ears National Monument in southern Utah. These are some of the most iconic landscapes in America, cherished throughout the nation and the world, but also so sacred to local tribes who fought for their protection.
As you know, the president has touted economic growth as one of the reasons why he says this move needs to be made. What is your response to that?
My response is that we can have economic growth while we protect our most important natural and cultural places. And there's plenty of places to develop, but these aren't them. Utah has a booming recreational economy, or booming economy, because of the protected lands, and it's really these protected places like Bears Ears and the Grand Staircase-Escalante and the national parks that really drive that economy. Garfield County alone, which is the main area where the Grand Staircase-Escalante National Monument is, sees more than $87 million a year in tourist-generated income and revenue. So this is a really important driver for the economy of that area, and that we can prosper economically because we are protecting our most cherished places.
In April, as you know, the president ordered the Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke to review more than 24 national monuments. What is your sense? Are those also at risk of being scaled back in size?
Well, today's action is really such a horrible precedent, and it's just the beginning for the rollback of protections of really important landscapes that Americans love throughout the country, from the California desert to forests in Oregon and Maine, to really important protected marine areas in the Pacific and the Atlantic. So what today tells us is that there's not any national park or national monument or sacred place that is not at risk from this administration's all-out attempt to sell out our public lands to the highest bidder for short-term gain.
There is precedent for this, but no president has modified a national monument in more than 50 years. Conservation activists like yourself and tribal representatives have been preparing legal briefs aimed at blocking these changes in federal court. Can you talk about some of the legal rationale you think that you and other groups have to stand on in taking on the Trump administration's decision?
Sure. I mean, these actions are illegal and will be challenged in court by the Wilderness Society, by local tribes, and by many others, because it betrays what the Antiquities Act that has been used by Republican and Democratic presidents to protect special places allows a president to do. What that act allows a president to do is to actually protect these places, but not to eliminate national monuments or significantly change them. And that was reaffirmed by Congress in the late 70s, and that's what we will be challenging them on.
All right, we'll continue to watch it. Jamie Williams, thanks very much for your time, Jamie.
Okay, thank you.